I'm Zayna Allen, and welcome back to Bold Life. We have a great show for you today. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section below. We want to know what you think. You know, while we're all stuck at home, I know we've all been binge watching everything. I've been doing it. I've binge watched so many things. I've watched the entire Marvel universe twice, and I know everybody needs to figure out what to watch. So we here at Bold have decided to help you figure out the best shows to watch. Here with me, I have Kiyra, Lynn, entertainment journalist, Tejansie, entertainment lifestyle producer, and Chantal, Rochelle, content producer and on-air talent. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
So how are you all doing with this entire situation that we're dealing with, staying inside? How are we doing?
A lot of TV watching.
Yeah.
A
Absolutely.
whole lot of binging. I'm finally getting my money's worth out of my subscription.
Same. I have too. What about you, Chantal?
I've been doing a lot of TV watching as well, but also like forgetting what day it is. So I'll just be like, I'm forgetting like a lot of when my shows come on, and I have Hulu. So I'll just be like, I'll just watch it all together. Because at this point, who knows what is even today? Do we know what today is? So
I don't
know. You know, right? So I'm just watching anything on TV. So that's what's keeping me sane right now.
Kiyra, it looks really sunny where you are. Can you tell us how it's going over there?
I'm in Los Angeles, and it's literally 80 degrees right now. I have my air conditioner on, so you might hear a little breeze. I know. But I will tell you, I am wearing a dress, but there are pajama pants underneath this. So,
I have shorts on.
I have PJs on. You're not alone.
Love it. So, ladies, let's get into these shows. So, Chantal, let's start with your show, your pick for what people should be binge watching while they are at home.
So I am a huge fan of All American, starring the ever so iconic Taye Diggs. What I love about the show, not going to give it away, but there is an unexpected plot twist that you really don't see coming. That's what I really like about shows. I like shows that really take me on a turn. I don't like to predict what's going to happen because I'm like, okay, I could have written this myself, right? I hate like predicting the show because it kind of doesn't make it thrilling. So what I love about All American is Taye Diggs stays true to his chocolatey fine self, but at the same time he's stepped into this mentorship role, and I really love that we see him kind of mentoring this young, aspiring Black, young man. But the twist and turn that is played before us really it really takes you by surprise. So I really love how the show takes you on a journey. It keeps you on your toes.
So actually, All American was my pick as well. And All American was, when I tell you, I binge watched it when it first got on Netflix for the first season. And then the second season came out on, I don't know what TV.
On Netflix.
No, it was on a regular channel at first.
CW.
Yes, and I did not watch it. I was like, I will wait until it gets on Netflix. And when it came on Netflix, I watched it in 2 days. And it is a great show. So, Kiyra, can you tell us about your pick?
Well, I am a single mom, and there are a lot of things that I personally love to watch, like Ozark and, all those things that my kid can't watch with me. She's 10. So I actually stumbled on the series that is brand new. It's on Apple TV now. It's called Home Before Dark. And it's like an American mystery series. The executive producer one of them is behind 13 Reasons Why, which is a huge hit on Netflix, but it is about the life of a young investigative journalist. She is 9. And yeah, you think, oh, she's 9, this must be a kid's show, but they really take it on like an adult can watch it, kids can watch it. The point of view is very Amblin Steven Spielberg entertainment-like. It takes the vision of a 9-year-old, but very cinematic. And the best part about it is actually based on a real life young investigative journalist who is now 14 years old. So she was the inspiration. Her name is Hildy Lysiak. And the series stars a young Brooklyn Prince. So she was this great little girl who did the Florida Project not too long ago. And Jim Sturgis, I mean, I just love watching him. He does have an American accent, but man, when he turns on that British accent at any point, But I really have found this is a good show that my daughter and I can both watch. So all of you parents out there, if you're looking for something to be able to watch during the day while your kids aren't at school, this would definitely be something that you can watch.
I love that. I love family-friendly shows. What I can say though is that I haven't seen it, but I have seen 13 Reasons Why. And I mean, it touches somewhere deep down inside. And
So
I can definitely tell that, it's going to be a good show if it's the same people.
yes, so if it has the same sort of cinematic feel, you really do get sucked into it.
I love that. I love that. So Balu, can you tell us about the show that you've chosen?
So I am obsessed with Little Fires Everywhere. It is literally just like the
I've
title
heard
says.
so much about it. Please tell us, because I haven't watched it yet, but I've been hearing so much, and I try not to let Twitter tell me like what to watch. But I might have to.
Yeah, don't go on Twitter before you watch it because it'll ruin the entire plot line. But this story really delves into just race relations in a very poignant way, and it's very lit, literally. Like you see a fire explode and you have no idea where it's coming from. There's a lot of twists and turns in the story. It stars two of my faves, Reese Witherspoon and Kerry Washington. I mean, they put on a phenomenal performance. It's based on a novel by Celeste Ning. I hope I'm saying her name right. But it's based on a novel. It's set in Shaker Heights, Ohio, which is a suburb outside of Cleveland. And you see this well-to-do family kind of deal with race in ways that you wouldn't even think about. And it's set in the 90s, so it's kind of recent. And we all kind of remember the 90s as being this bubblegum decade, but we forget that there was still a lot that needed to be done and a lot of work that was just like, it was a very good show. And it just kind of puts it out front, like in a way that Friends and all the other shows from the 90s don't really deal with race. This does.
I love that. I love that. Now, Chantal, you chose this show as well.
I did.
So obviously, this is a hot pick.
Listen, first of all, can we give a shout out to Kerry Washington? Goodbye thing. You see that meme that's been going around? Like, Kerry Washington's gonna give the performance of her lifetime when you can see her gums.
Yeah.
Like
the facial expressions.
Facial expressions alone, like give her a award for that alone. I love that you see this dynamic between Reese and Kerry. It's like it's an acting masterclass. Like they are so beautiful opposite of each other, and they really hook you. And so what really got me hooked to the show is their performance. Like they carry it. So they do a phenomenal job.
Even the children, the young Kerry Washington was like the old Kerry Washington. I really couldn't tell the difference.
I love it.
Jackson still snacks.
She did.
So ladies, thank you. Actually, you know what? In Little Fires Everywhere, we can watch that on Hulu.
Hulu.
I don't really have a Hulu account, but I might have to create another email. I might have to create another email.
That free trial.
Well, thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. I hope everybody at home was able to, choose a show, because there's so many out there. I mean, we've just given you 3, and hey. So thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You may have recently seen our next guest in the Lifetime movie, The Clark Sisters, First Ladies of Gospel, playing Dorinda Clark Cole. Please welcome singer, songwriter, and actress Sheléa. How are you doing?
I'm doing so good. Actress is so new. That's kind of cool to hear that.
Yeah, I know. I was just about to ask you. So the Clark Sisters movie debuted as the highest rated original movie of the year on all of television with 2.7 million viewers. What was it like to work with such an incredible cast?
Oh my goodness. So first off, the last time I checked, it's now over 13 million. So it has skyrocketed. And the response has been just so beautiful. I think it couldn't have come at a better time. But working with these girls was incredible. We all love the Clark Sisters so dearly. They were the soundtrack to really all of our childhoods. Of course, pretty strong with Kiyra. She was hearing them probably before, when she was in her mother's stomach, and so, but we all had such a strong connection to their music and just their spirit. And so to be able to come full circle all these years later, and honor this group, all these beautiful, powerful queens. Now for them to be able to smell their flowers when they can still be here and smell them is really, I think, a really incredible moment. Because a lot of times these things happen after they're gone.
Yes, I was just about to say, usually people don't get their flowers until after they're gone. So this is why this is very important. So, what work did you have to put in to be able to embody not just, any gospel singer, but, you had to embody the iconic Clark sisters. How was it? What was the work that you had to put in? I know this may be your first time, like acting. So there's different methods that actors use to be able to get into character. What did you have to do?
For sure. This was new to me. I had a little small role in another film, but it was just a one day. This was the first time I was actually starring in something and, having literally to work every day. The first thing I did was I got an acting coach before I even got the part. Josie Harris was incredible, and she made me fall in love with acting, really taught me the craft. I remember one of the very first assignments she gave me was to rewrite the whole script. But instead of it saying Dorinda, to put my name, Sheléa. Every time it said my mother's, Dr. Maddie Moss Clark, she would make me put Sheila Simon Frazier, which is my mom, sister with various sisters, just make it. Because she said, what I want you to realize is that you can't act, you have to just be. And so you have to put yourself in Dorinda's shoes so you can actually respond authentically in the moment when they yell action. And so it just so happened to be that there were so many parallels. I come from a very strict Christian home as well. We could only listen to gospel. Dorinda was extremely loyal and went really hard for her mom. If you saw in the film, she kind of, was a little out of her usual character was surrounding her mom. She rides hard for her mom, and I do the same thing. I'll cut you over my mama, I'll cut your face. I actually grew up in a family of daughters too. It's 4 of us, and it's also a blended family, so I know what it feels like with that. To have we have same father, different moms, 2 of us. So there were so many parallels that I was able to really authentically be able to find the truth in. And so I think that really helped with bringing Dorinda to life.
Yes, I love that. I love the chemistry on set too. It was great. Well, you could see the chemistry, on camera. So, Sheléa, let's talk about your work personally. You were mentored by Stevie Wonder. You were a protege of Quincy Jones. What was it like working with them, and how exactly did they prepare you for the music industry?
Wow, that's such a good question. There's so much there. I mean, I'm so blessed that they've been such beautiful angels and kings in my life. I met Stevie Wonder through this project I was on, Take 6, who I consider to be my brothers. And so Stevie heard me singing on that, and there was just this instant connection, and I ended up touring with him for a couple years on the Songs in the Key of Life tour, and he's been on all of my albums. And then being with Stevie, I was introduced to Ricky Minor, who's also just this wonderful, wonderful presence in my life, who, was instrumental in me performing at the White House for the second time for a tribute to Ray Charles. And then he's actually the one who introduced me to Quincy Jones. He was doing an event at his home, a private event. And again, the connection was immediate with Quincy. I ended up being the first vocalist to open his jazz club in Dubai. And so I did a residency there. I was there for 2 months. Q's Bar and Lounge, which was just so great in Palazzo Versace, Dubai. And then some years later, we said, let's make this thing official. And now I'm signed to his management team, Quincy Jones Productions, and that's been for almost 2 years now. But they both, it's so interesting how you look at how Stevie and Quincy have played such a, I would say, integral part in just music history, period. Like they are the fabric of just our you know, our soundtrack, you know, just of life. I mean, when I remember when Barack Obama became president, it will always be now synonymous with, you know, Stevie, you know, signed, sealed, delivered. I'll always remember that with that huge part of history. So I feel like they both had those kind of things. And what I have found that they both have taught me is that they lead with love. You know, everything they do comes from love. I've never seen two men so beloved because of their music, because of who they are and what they've given just as a human being, not just their music, but just their humanitarian work, you know. So I would have to say they both have taught me to always make sure the core of everything I do is done with love, and that
Absolutely.
people are important, and we're here. We were given this gift to make humanity better, and that's what I've always tried to center everything I do around.
I think it's great, and you can tell that, you know, they've put that into you, because you're just a light, you know. So I definitely say that they have definitely helped you and raised you up to be, you know, Sheléa. So
Yeah.
So let's talk about, you know, you've done work with the Global Citizens Together at Home series, and last week we're doing the Call to Unite streaming event. How important is it for you to be involved with all that's going on with the coronavirus, everybody staying at home and all of that? How important is that to you?
You know, I think we've gone through so much in the world. I mean, you look at all the things that have happened in world history, but I don't think there's been anything quite like this, to where it's like, it's really brought the world to its knees. And so I feel so blessed that music has been something that has been a constant in people's lives, that is kind of keeping them sane. You know, you look at what D Nice did, you know, and how that just shifted so much for millions of people, you know, just using music to get you through the day, get you through being isolated and being lonely and feeling depressed and anxious and scared, and I mean, just everything you can think of. And so it's so important for me to be able to use my gift in a way that just, at least for a moment, gives people an opportunity to escape, you know, what they're feeling and just listen to music. And I believe that music has that power. It always has had that power. But sometimes people get, you know, so busy in their day-to-day life that you forget how much music can really impact you. And so now the fact that everything has come to a standstill, you see, man, you know, this is what I'm depending on to just kind of get me through these unprecedented times. And so I'm so honored to answer the call to unite, you know, that I was able to do that, that 24-hour pledge, and then of course the Global Citizen, and I do shows on my own as well. I did one for Quest TV that was really great. Tens of thousands of people tuned in, and it's just great to be able to share your gift and it really help.
Yes. So now that we're on the topic of music, let's talk about your newest single, You Are Enough. Let's talk about that.
I'm so excited. It's out. It's everywhere. It's on all platforms. And it was a song that I never even thought was going to be a single. You know, I was just vibing with a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, so talented, this producer, called Steve Octave, and we were just chilling. We were, you know, and I forced him to like bring out his guitar and bass, and we just started vibing with just musically what he was doing. And this thought came to me. I believe God put it on my heart last year. It was this idea of putting affirmations to music and calling them song formations. And so that idea out of the blue popped into my head, and I was like, we should do my first song formation to this vibe. And so we just did it, and then I just posted my day, and I posted it on Instagram, and you know, and it was this overwhelming response to it. I just started getting covers from all over the world. This little preschool, these little preschoolers did it, and mothers were singing it to their sons and to their daughters, and people were telling me they needed this for their alarm clock. And some months back for Grammy Week, at the Grammy Museum, I talked to these high schoolers. It was an event called Backstage with Sheléa. It was during Grammy Week, and so they connected with it. The student had asked, "How do you deal with self-doubt?" And so I told them about the song, and so the Recording Academy ended up writing this beautiful article about it. And so before it was even out, there was just all this beautiful energy surrounding this song. And so I just felt like I gotta put this out. It's really literally 2 lines, but it's a full song based on 2 lines that just kind of repeats. And I just think that the timing is perfect for it, where people are needing this message to kind of speak over themselves and telling themselves that you are enough.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love your message. I love your light. Like I said, you have this light that's glowing from you. So Sheléa, thank you so much for joining us today. You are amazing. Everybody, please go ahead and stream You Are Enough so that you know that you are enough.
That's right. That's right. It was so good to talk with you. Thank you so much.
Of course. Our next guest created an organization to develop young girls into confident, well-rounded global leaders through its mentorship. Please welcome founder of the Power of Girls, Tameka Key. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm great. So Tameka, let's talk about the Power of Girls. What exactly is the Power of Girls?
Yeah, so we are a nonprofit here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a girl empowerment program, and we focus on confidence, leadership, self-awareness, and cultural awareness. We've been around since, we started the organization a long time ago in 2014, but we've got our first group of girls in 2018, and we went on our first international trip last year to London.
I love that. So let's talk about this trip. Yep. I know I've read about the Power of Girls, and I know you have this this trip at the end of at the completion of the program. So why is that important for young girls to travel internationally?
Oh wow, it's so many stats out there about just giving girls an opportunity to see the world different, and we wanted to give them an opportunity that they probably wouldn't get. What we do when we're with them for the year program, we actually talk about different girls in different countries. So instead of us, just, talking about it, we actually, live that, and we actually go on a trip. And the trip is just, it's amazing how much they have so much confidence after that trip. The first time that I actually went on a trip was when I was in middle school, and it gave me so much confidence. And, a lot of people don't get to travel. So we were really excited about, giving them this opportunity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we are currently in a pandemic. So how exactly is this organization still inspiring girls during this crisis?
Yeah, it's so interesting. A month ago, I told myself, I was like, it'll go away. and it's not like that. We've actually had to pivot our services. There are a lot of invisible illnesses that our girls have, as far as, anxiety, their confidence is going down, et cetera. So what we've had to do is that we've actually had to, do everything like we're doing right now online on Zoom, and really like hone in on what's going on, in their head at home, and provide that mentorship for them. We still aspire to go internationally somewhere, or even domestically, because we feel like, trips and exposing them to different, whether we go to DC or New York, or if we go to, Guatemala or London, we want to make sure that we give them still that experience, and our retreats help with that. But a lot of our servicing right now, we've had to pivot to make sure that we're covering our girls during this this crisis.
Talk about Girl Talk. How exactly, what is it, first of all, and how is it changing the outcome of young girls maneuvering through social media?
Oh, yes. So we call our Girl Talk. It's our power sessions that we have. We talk with them once a month. And we want to make sure that when our girls are interacting or exposing themselves to things that are on social media, that they go into it with a different lens, that they're not looking at it to say, oh, I need to either compare myself to this or I need to be this. We want to make sure that the girls are like looking at it from a different perspective. So even in our retreats, we'll do something where we show them something on social media and then we show them what's going on in the background. I love showing those things because they're like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, she just tilted herself a certain way to get that look that she's has in her stomach. Mm-hmm. And it's, there's nothing wrong with those different things, but we want to make sure that they have, security when they're looking on social media. A lot of our Girl Talk also is just for them to just have time to talk to each other. There are a lot of times I talk to parents and they're like, well, my daughter's not opening up about this. Sometimes they just want to do peer-to-peer talking. We give them that time. We also give them time with the mentors. So we want to be able to give the girls an outlet to be able to speak, because when you do that, it builds up leadership, it builds up their confidence, it builds all of these different things that you actually need to travel. I mean, if you can't talk about certain things, you'll be stuck. So we really enjoy it, and we've really seen a lot of improvement with our girls with our Girl Talk sessions.
I love that. I love that. So Tameka, what exactly was your inspiration behind creating this space for girls to develop leadership skills and become self-aware?
So I always told myself one day that I wanted to combine my two passions. So guess what they are? Travel and youth development. I sat one day and I just said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And I got a board and we encouraged each other. And I knew there was a need. A lot of people, when they first go into something, they'll say, well, someone else already has that. Well, what I told myself was, if someone else already has this, there's still a need, because there's so many girls in Atlanta and across the whole world. I mean, one organization can't do it. I aspire to be those larger organizations. And I know they started small, just like I did. Everyone had a vision. And it's not just my vision, it's the board's vision, it's our donors' visions, partners' visions. They believe in what we do. So yeah, again, I just sat down one day and I said, you know what, I think I'm going to do this. It took a while though. I didn't just do it one day. But I just kept encouraging myself. It gets hard sometimes. You want to just say, in this epidemic, I was like, I don't know, how do we fit? But then you start to see that this service is still needed. So it was really important.
Absolutely. So can you let us know where exactly we can follow the Power of Girls? How can one sign up? Even during these times or even after these times, how can we get involved?
So our website is www.thepowerofgirls.org. We're also on Instagram, same name, and then we're also on Facebook. So yeah, we have a small group here in Atlanta, but we impact a lot of girls, and we're starting to open up our services to a lot of girls that need it, whether it be, we do something on IG, or we have retreats for our open session for all girls, but we do have a smaller group that we work with, that we travel with. So yes.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you so much for joining us. I will definitely start checking out the Power of Girls. I love this movement. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you so much. Thank y'all.
You're welcome. Up next is a woman who wants other women to remember that the most exceptional project in your life is you. Please welcome top business coach and podcast host, Tiffany Carter. Hi, Tiffany.
Hey, girl, what's up?
How are you doing?
I'm really good. It depends on the day right now. One day, I have no idea what's happening. And then the next day, I'm like, you know what? I really have my stuff together.
That's great. So, Tiffany, could you tell us a little bit more about Project Me with Tiffany?
So Project Me with Tiffany Carter was born about 2 years ago. I've been an entrepreneur for 12 years, but what I saw missing in this space is there weren't enough women represented as being mentors and coaches to other women who, reached a level of success like I have, as a multimillionaire. Really being able to clearly, simply, and in a straightforward way, teach other women how to do the dang thing, versus just, being inspiring and saying, look at me, I'm so successful. I want to help other women be able to achieve that for themselves too. I want to be what I didn't have. 12 years ago, there wasn't any female mentors aside from me watching Oprah on TV, right? So
Right.
that's how I came into the space. And I do that in a variety of ways. But one is, my popular success podcast, Project Me with Tiffany Carter. I also do coaching, speaking, courses, that kind of stuff.
So can we talk about how you inspire women and teach women how to use video to sell without sounding too salesy?
Yeah, most people, what I noticed is, I should say women, particularly, either there's a small percentage who feel totally confident selling and it's their jam. But for most people, that's the part they hate the most. What deters them from getting into business, starting companies, creating products, is that part seems pushy, annoying, gross. It seems like you have to be an extreme extrovert to be good at it. And I'm actually an introvert. I'm someone who didn't like sales either. I almost got fired from my corporate job because I would sweat. I used to have to wear deodorant on my face. I mean, I felt so annoying and invasive and awkward. And if I wanted to pay my rent, I had to figure out a way to make sales. Because when you're in corporate America, as like any listener who is watching right now who's had a job like that, but they'll fire you quick if you don't make those sales. So I had to figure something out that worked for me, that made sense for me, not how they trained everyone all together, but what worked for me. And that's where my emotional based sales techniques were born, that I now, have taught to tens of thousands of people. But it was a way in aligning and connecting with your ideal client with emotion, not just coming at them with information and facts and figures and questions, but really connecting on an emotional level and out of a place of service. And that shift really helps people when they realize, oh, I don't have to do it that way that I see on, late night infomercials. I don't have to do it like the person at the Nordstrom shoe department who chases me down.
Can we briefly talk about, what exactly it is to, I know you mentioned a little bit, you talked a little bit about emotional based sales technique, but why is that so important for women to be able to make sales based off emotion rather than, like you said, doing it like the infomercials that you see at 2:00 in the morning, or how like a car dealer do, things like that. How exactly do you think that's important for women?
It's important because that's what's preventing many of them from having the success they deserve, financially, or gaining a platform for whatever their message is. It deters women from even starting a business because they know that that is an important part, and that's the part that they don't want to do. They want to kind of be the creator of the thing, but so what? You can create whatever you want. You don't know how to market it and you're not out there, it's not going to sell. I don't care what it is. So when heart-centered women, and women are naturally, right, just more nurturing, right? So when they hear, wait a second, I can just connect with people based on emotion and meet my ideal client where they're at, and why my service, my product, my organization, whatever it is a great fit for them, and help them see that, it's not sales anymore. All you're doing is just explaining what you have to offer and how it can help them get from their current state of where they're at, which is uncomfortable, pain, disappointment, frustration, to their desired core emotion, which is, confidence, weight loss. It's feeling more organized, more put together, less stressed, finding love in their life. And when you do that, now it takes away the selling part, and all you're doing is explaining this amazing thing that you've created. And it takes off that weird, awkward edge.
Mm-hmm. So how can women join the Project Me with Tiffany Carter? How do we get in touch with you? How do we sign up?
So there's a few different ways. One, I always encourage women to listen to the podcast. It's on every single platform, just like you guys. It's on, iTunes, Google Play, iHeartRadio. It's on all the things. So that's free. So you can't use any money thing as an excuse. But I do elite private coaching because some people really prefer that one-on-one touch point. but I also offer group coaching, which is at a lower price point. And you also get to collaborate with other women going after similar things. And that's really empowering, because it can often feel, when you're going after your dreams, it can be really lonely and isolating. I mean, I was super isolated because there wasn't a Tiffany back then.
Right.
I mean, people thought I was nuts. I did it before it was like a cool thing to do, like hashtag, you know, boss babe. Like, I was crazy chick. Like, it was not recommended. So I want to make sure that I have a community of women, which I hand select all of them inside my Project Me Posse group, so they can connect and collaborate and help support each other, because there's enough room for all of us in whatever space we're in. It doesn't matter if it's health, beauty, fitness, business, accounting, lawyers, whatever it is. There's more than enough room for all of us, because we each have a unique approach to that space. So I encourage that, like, collaboration, which people really love.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Tiffany, for joining us. Please, everybody, check out Project Me with Tiffany Carter. Sounds great. I might have to check it out myself. So, yes, Tiffany, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, girl.
And that's the end of today's show. Thank you for watching. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Get our Amazon Fire TV app. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Stay safe, wash your hands, and stay tuned for more Bold Life in 2 weeks. See ya.